Good evening. I hope you're well. I just thought I'd do a wee video. I'm going to make lasagna, and it's from Jamie Oliver. It's a great one. It's from that book there, his Ministry of Food. So I just thought I would get things together and run through what I've got here, how I'm going to prepare it, and let you see it as it goes along. So there'll be a couple of these stages. I'm going to get the filling done. So I'm going to get the mince done. I'm going to get it done tonight. I'll leave it overnight. Not a lot of the flavours and such like infuse into the mince. So what I've got, I'll let you see. I'll just take that off because I'm just going to get in the pan just in a second or two. So I've got 500 grams of pork mince and beef mince. So it's 250 grams of each. It's a great mix. Instead of just using all beef or all pork, it's nice to get a wee blend of the two flavours with the lean beef mince and the pork mince, and it comes out really well. I've got 4 rashers of pancetta, 2 tins of the Mute chopped tomatoes. I think these ones are the best ones. I've tried the Napolina and various others. They're a bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it, especially in this day and age when people talk about ultra processed foods. There's nothing in here that's ultra processed at all. So it's all fresh ingredients. It's all good stuff. I've got 2 heaped teaspoons of dried oregano, 50 grams of grated Parmigiano Reggiano Parmesan cheese. That's probably the best one for me, it is anyway. I've got a couple of garlic cloves here. I've got some olive oil. I've got basil stalks. I've taken the leaves off them, put them in the fridge. They can get decorated over the lasagna tomorrow when that's in the oven doing its thing. So I've also, as I say, I've got my olive oil, and I've got carrots, onion and celery. Now it's normally two sticks of celery, 2 carrots and 2 medium-sized onions. So what I've done, I've bought the frozen stuff, the mixed stuff. It's ready mixed. Now if it's good enough for James Martin and Jamie Oliver and whoever else uses it, it's good enough for me. So I thought I'd give it a go instead of putting the dicing carrots up and onions and celery. So it's straight from the freezer. That'll just go right in the pan and it'll just do its thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 1 or 2 things prepared. So I'm going to move 1 or 2 bits and pieces. Let me get rid of this wee bit of paper. I am going to, let me shift that olive oil over to the pan, move these things out of the way so that I've just got the pancetta and the garlic. I'll need to salt the garlic first actually, so I'll put that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this pancetta, get that into wee bits, get that out of the road. Right, so we're going to chop up the garlic as I said, so half it down the middle. Bits of garlic jump my other shop. So chop it nice and fine. Don't chop it too fine because what happens with it is you chop it too fine, it can burn quite quickly. So I've got, as I say, I've got 4 slices of pancetta, and that will render off. So the fat that comes off that will be nice in the frying pan or the big casserole pot that's all going to get cooked in. So just chop up your pancetta. You can also use smoked streaky bacon. Right, so the pan's on. This is a big casserole thing that I'm going to use. That's warming up nicely. So we've got a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in there just to get the party started. Right, that's it on gently. Right, so we'll just bring that to we'll just brown that off. It smells terrific. Right, so we'll give that a second or 2. So the next thing to go in, what's going to go in is the what do you call it? The carrots, the celery, the onion, the garlic, and you have to stir that for probably about 7 minutes. Keep at it, keep it stirring so it doesn't catch. And what that does is that gives a nice background, a nice smoky background flavour for your bolognese once you get it all going. Right, so I'm about ready to put this veg in. So we'll put fire the veg in, and the garlic. Right, a couple of bits of that to go, 2 seconds. The garlic in. Right, so I'll come back to this in a second. So that was frozen, that stuff. Right, so at this point you don't season it because there's seasoning in that smoked bacon. Right, so that's coming on a wee heat. You should have seen the water that came out of that by the way. So that's had about 5 or 6 minutes. That's about ready to go. So what the next thing is, I'm going to put all that in there, break it up a wee bit, then add those tomatoes with 1 can of water. into the pot. So to get the mince in a second. Mince in. Right, so we're ready for the tomatoes now. Give it a wee swoosh, and it goes. Right, now that there will be a thing of beauty, and that I can guarantee because I've made this loads and loads of times. So that's the start of the story. So what we did in here, good pinch of salt, good pinch of black pepper, basil stalks from earlier, they go in. As I say, you're keeping the leaves for the morning. We're going to put that lid on it, on there. We'll then turn that down to a simmer. We'll cover it with the lid, turn it down to a simmer, and let it simmer away for 45 minutes or so. Right folks, that's the bolognese done. I must say it looks absolutely terrific. It's nice and rich, it's nice and thick. I'm just going to put in, so that 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, I'm going to put a quarter of that in. Stir that through. That actually acts as seasoning, but once I've put that in there, I'll taste it to see if it maybe needs salt and pepper. But Parmesan cheese is quite a good seasoner anyway. So we put that in, and then I've got some basil leaves that I'm just going to tear in. Stir that through. And that's that pretty much done. So tomorrow, I'm just going to leave this overnight and just let all these flavours just infuse. And that will be sensational, and that will go into tomorrow's lasagna, in which I will do a wee video for that anyway, and you can see how it goes. But that is terrific. Let me grab a wee Daniel Boone. Right, let's see how that is now. It's absolutely sensational. I'm going to put a bit more Parmesan cheese in. And I think that's us about done. So as I say, that'll sit overnight and that'll be smashing. And as you can put this, like I said, you can do this into, for spaghetti bolognese, for any pasta. If you want to turn it into a chili con carne, you can put chilies in it, you can put cumin, coriander powder, red kidney beans, butter beans, chickpeas, black beans, cannellini beans. So the loads you could add to that to make it something different if you didn't want Italian. But that's great. So if you want to have a go at that, it's so easy. I think the video that I've done, you should be able to follow that if you can. The recipe's in Jamie Oliver's Ministry of Food book, which is a great book. I've done loads of things out of that. It's one of the first books I wrote when I started to do cooking anyway. But this bolognese actually is the bolognese that I put into the ravioli that I've done for the MasterChef audition. That was in 2019 and they absolutely loved it. And I've actually, I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I've done. I put a chilli through that. So it kind of lifted it a wee bit. So it was more like a kind of arrabbiata, but it wasn't, if that makes sense. But a nice wee heat in it. A lot of people think the chilli, it's all fire, it's fire, it's fire. If you use them properly, you can actually taste chilli as opposed to feeling the heat of chilli, which is much better. Anyway, that's it. So I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, and we will do the lasagna and we'll layer it up, we'll pack it in the oven, and the job's a good one. Smashing. Good afternoon. It is the day after the making of the bolognese or the ragu. So we've been through all that. 24 hours later, I'm going to assemble the lasagna dish for the oven for later on, and I'm just going to talk you through what I'm going to do, because I haven't done a bechamel sauce, but I have got, this is the Jamie Oliver recipe incidentally, so that's creme fraiche. I'm just going to use that instead of the bechamel sauce. It's a wee bit healthier, and it's just as tasty for me. It's terrific. So what we'll do, we'll start to layer things together. So it's a layer of the mince, your pasta, some of the sauce, I've got some mozzarella here as well, parmesan, and the tomatoes to finish it off before it goes into the oven. As I say, it's been sitting for 24 hours, looks absolutely terrific. So just spread a layer of that in the bottom of your Pyrex dish or your lasagna lubridub. You want a sheet of pasta, so you get yourself a wee layer of the creme fraiche. So we've got the mince, we've got the pasta, we've got some creme fraiche, we're going to put a sprinkle of parmesan on that. We're going to put a couple of, a few bits of mozzarella. Pinch of salt. Again. Layer of the mince. And then we'll finish that off with a layer of lasagna. And then we're just about done. That's ready for the oven at that point. Let me just whack that there like that. Right, so that can go out the road. And then we're just going to finish that with the tomatoes, parmesan cheese, the rest of the mozzarella. Right, so that's that. That's all prepared. Just need to finish it off with the tomatoes on top. That's you sorted. So what we'll do with that, put a wee pinch of salt on that. Pinch of pepper. Couple of wee basil leaves in there. What a carry on that was. Good to go. So actually, we need a wee drizzle of extra virgin olive oil on it. So oven on at 190. We're going to cover this bad boy with tin foil. Put it in the oven for 20 minutes with the foil on it. And then after 20 minutes, take the foil off and then keep it in the oven for 35 minutes. And I will get back to you when that's out the oven. Lovely. So that'll be the lasagna. Look at that. What a triumph that is. So I'm just going to let it sit for 5 or 6 minutes, just like calm itself down. And then we'll get it sliced up, put it in plates, and then we'll be away with the digger. Have a pleasant evening.